There's a divide between filmmakers and content creators that's based at least somewhat on a combination of resentment and jealousy, to the point where the word content is a four-letter word for some filmmakers. But why does this bother filmmakers so much? Influencers and YouTubers have captured the attention of audiences that used to watch movies and TV shows, who now spend hours and hours every day watching content with a relatively low standard of quality. And a lot of filmmakers think this cheapens what they do. With millions of videos being uploaded every single day, audiences have grown accustomed to watching and forgetting something right away. It's harder than ever to get someone to watch your movie, let alone engage with it. Filmmakers put a lot of creative energy into crafting a film only to get a handful of views, while YouTubers with basic technical skills get thousands, even millions of views. It can be very discouraging. I can understand why the word content feels like it removes all the artistic value out of a film production and treats it like just any other thing that's out there to be consumed and then thrown in the garbage. No filmmaker wants this. But what can filmmakers learn from content creators? What can we do to reach millions of people like they do? When I try to answer this question, I think about how I approach developing this YouTube channel and how I can apply that to filmmaking. And three things really stuck out to me. The first was the amount of research that goes into starting something like a YouTube channel or a TikTok account. In social media terms, you're looking for a niche that you can fit into. For me, that was obviously filmmaking, where I could pass on my decades of experience in theatrical films, commercial video, and festival organization. But it's more than that. I can't just ramble on about whatever I want. I had to do a deep dive on what kinds of people are watching this kind of content and what kinds of videos are performing well. I researched keywords, looked at what goes into making a killer thumbnail that people will click on. If I want people to watch my videos, I need to know what they want and where they're looking. So what can filmmakers learn from this? In the film world, niche is similar to genre, and what I've learned about researching my niche also applies to researching genre. Through watching hundreds of film submissions, I've noticed a lot of filmmakers tend to ignore genre completely, and what happens is we end up with a lot of films that don't quite fit anywhere. They're not comedy, but they're not quite drama either. Sort of feels like a thriller, but also kind of a murder mystery. Mixing genres is not new, but if you don't give it much thought, you end up in a genreless purgatory, and this is where it comes back to the audience. If someone watches a trailer for what looks like a thriller, and then it turns out to be a murder mystery, that creates a disconnect. Same goes for if you saw a funny cat video on Instagram, and when you visit their page looking for more funny cat videos, you find out they mostly do cooking tutorials. You never want that. Another takeaway from content creators is that they are constantly engaged in creative work. The nature of social media and the algorithms that drive them require regular uploading, sometimes multiple times a day in the case of something like TikTok. There's a consistent flow of ideas, and at that pace, they don't have time to overthink their next video idea. It's literally their job to post something by a certain time. They just do. Filmmakers tend to be pretty bad at this, and I know a lot of them that will hem and haw over an idea for years, and sometimes drop the project completely. There's no sense of urgency when it comes to making a film because you have all the time in the world. But if you don't set deadlines for yourself like content creators do, you might end up never making anything at all. Obviously, there's a big difference between making a short film and making a reel, but along with not having time to overthink ideas, they're also able to move on from failures just as quickly and on to the next video. Now, is this healthy or sustainable? Probably not. Most creators give up pretty quickly after just a couple of months. And for those that last, it's not uncommon to eventually experience burnout. But the same can be said for filmmakers. Months of pre-production, a few days of filming, and post-production can span the course of an entire year, if not more. It's mentally draining, and if the movie fails to get views or get into festivals, it can be devastating. So what I think filmmakers can learn here is to find a happy medium between the blistering pace of daily uploads to finding ways to at least be creative most days, even if it's not directly tied to one film project. You can write, you can make concept art, or you can work on music. There are so many different artistic disciplines that go into making a film, it should be a priority to try to get ideas out, take the pressure off, and work through to the better ideas. Not everything you do has to be part of the final project. Take some risks, do some crazy things. Worst case, you just delete it. And I think content creators show that there's still a lot of value in short-form content. Most filmmakers want to make feature films and view short films as a stepping stone to eventually work your way toward that goal. And that's not a bad thing. But when I see billions of hours a day spent watching videos that are around 12 minutes, I see an opportunity for short films. I uploaded my first short to YouTube over 15 years ago, and I got over 1,000 views in just a couple days. A modest number by YouTube standards, but 1,000 people is a way bigger audience than I'd ever have gotten at a bunch of small film festivals combined. So while making features is still the goal, if you learn from content creators and can make shorts without overthinking it, YouTube offers the opportunity to get short films in front of new people. And finally, while this video isn't meant to convince you to start a YouTube or a TikTok account, filmmakers typically do have some sort of social media, and most of us could really use some improvement. What content creators do that filmmakers typically don't is engage with their audience. Filmmaking can be more of a one-way street. I make a movie, you watch it, and that's about it. Content creators grow their channels by generating more comments. And yeah, some of them do it by posting rage bait, but most of the ones I follow are artists who don't just share their work, but also share their process. Honestly, this is something I want to get better at myself. In the past, I've shared trailers and maybe a few production stills on my Instagram, but letting the audience in on my creative process before, during, and after I hit record is just as important. And that's the whole point of this video essay. The downfall of looking down on creators you think are beneath you means you don't have the opportunity to learn from them. And if you ever felt this way about influencers and YouTubers, don't worry, your secret's safe with me. But maybe there's a learning opportunity in here.